As long as we remain living and can identify with our emotions, we will at certain points experience worry, such as for paying bills, finding a suitable partner, seeking a job, or taking care of a loved one. Now, the frequency and level of worry we will experience depends largely on our ability to regulate our emotions. Now, worry has its benefits. This as an emotion alerts us, protecting us from harm, and could even trigger our motivation. Unchecked and compulsive worry can lead to distress, and this could ultimately cause anxiety. While some elements of the triggers to anxiety might be beyond our control, there are still many within our control but go unnoticed as they are well embedded in our way of life, and we casually entertain these ideas. In this video, I will mention 7 triggers that could lead to anxiety, which we can minimize or avoid. Hi, I'm Dr. Francisca Osage, and thank you for joining me on Francisca on Health Matters. Now, anxiety as an emotion describes an inner state of unrest and fear over an anticipated event. It harbors elements of worry and physiological responses such as muscular tension, chest and abdominal discomfort, feelings of breathlessness, sleep problems, the typical stress responses. Anxiety manifests in different forms. However, when facing long-term anxiety, now we're talking months of experiences associated with symptoms that are indeed crippling to an aspect of our livelihood. Then we talk about anxiety disorders, and this requires professional intervention. However, the focus on this talk is on the quite common sources of anxiety we seldom highlight. With conscious recognition, these sources can be avoided or at least minimized. And so in no particular order, here are 7 common sources or triggers of anxiety. Number 1, extreme difficulty in keeping up with family expectations. This can be instilled from childhood. What are those values perpetuated by parents to children from an early age? Parents knowingly or unknowingly propel their children into a life of anxiety when comparing the achievements of their children with their peers. When motivation is based on peer comparison, this can instill anxiety. It is great to achieve ambitious standards, but this can be detrimental when acknowledgements are based purely on performance and achievements relative to others. Why not encourage children to be the best version of themselves rather than a better version of someone else? This setup can lead to a life of constant comparison and competition, filled with anxiety and possible depression. A career push of an unwilling child towards that of the parental preference can also be detrimental. This could be a push towards a highly sought-out profession. Not only will the individual underperform, they could also eventually harbor anxiety and depression. Number 2, habits or lifestyle. These include poor sleep or eating habits, alcohol consumption, substance use, etc. Although these are easily recognized triggers, as there is so much emphasis on cultivating the beneficial habits, these triggers by various mechanisms take a hit to our immune system, giving us a low threshold of response to stress. And as life comes with stress, how ready we are to level up greatly depends on our body's physical and mental capacity. Poor sleep, too much alcohol consumption, substance use, affects our thinking or cognitive ability to analyze and deal with problems. Same thing goes with nutrition. Certain elements or chemicals derived from food intake, if depleted or unavailable, affects neuronal or brain signaling, which causes poor mental functioning. Number 3, a lack of structure or planning for lifestyle and livelihood. I call these habits of omission, such as lacking simple goals, failure to have a financial budget, or failure to plan for certain life events, or to prepare for events involving much financing or time consumption. Failure to plan could lead to making impulsive decisions which cause short-term satisfaction or gratification, but long-term dissatisfaction or challenges. Anxiety could easily kick in when we find ourselves no longer having the resources to address a real problem. Number 4, peer influence. This comes when there is unhealthy pressure to attain or achieve a status or symbol. This could be of wealth, education, etc. Most times, these attainments are good. However, the hype to attain this becomes the problem. The emphasis on its importance and significance on the value of a person can be detrimental to mental well-being and can trigger anxiety. Buying a home or mansion, a luxury car, attaining certain status, all are nice. But if this is pushed as being extremely relevant to be of a certain value to some certain people, regardless of making the achievement or not, it is a sure way to the path of anxiety, causing us to assess our values based on others' approval and leading to low self-esteem and, of course, anxiety. Number 5, being desperate. Having a desire for something good, being self-disciplined, determined, and dedicated in the actions towards the achievement of the desired outcome are all commendable. However, when determination changes into desperation, this becomes an unhealthy pursuit and can lead to anxiety. In desperation, there is the tendency to take actions that can be harmful to self or others, both physically and/or emotionally. Becoming desperate closes the mind to rational approaches that can be rewarded. Desperation, on the other hand, is a sure way to anxiety with outcomes that might not be favorable. If the pursuit of something desired has not been attained after much effort, it might be worth taking a pause to reevaluate overall conditions and perhaps consider near options. Number 6, lack of humor and always being too serious over every life issues. Can you laugh at your mistakes? Do you create time for fun and leisure? When we are inundated with commitments, responsibilities, and deadlines, and we find ourselves constantly trying to fix things, solve problems, and not creating enough time to unwind and have fun, this kind of lifestyle can very well trigger anxiety. Timeouts, breaks, and vacations are necessary to attain and restore emotional stability and balance. Also, give room to accommodate some humor. And number 7, self-doubt. When our confidence solely depends on the approval and validation given by others, we put ourselves at risk of developing low self-esteem at the slightest disapproval, which can lead to anxiety and doubt over most of our decisions. We also need to appreciate we all have our unique strengths, and expertise comes with repeated actions. That said, there are many triggers to anxiety. Now, have you experienced or are you currently experiencing anxiety? What are your triggers and how have you coped? Let me know in the comment section. Again, I hope you found this informative and educative. And if you've had, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.